Missouri senators advance pro-life legislation to stop the state from being a, quote, sanctuary city for abortion. The bill creates new abortion regulations, including annual clinic inspections. It will also put more requirements on how fetal tissue are handled. The bill was requested by Republican Governor Eric Greitens. Marjorie Dannenfelser is president of the Susan B. Anthony List. Thank you, as always, for being here.
As always, I love it.
Thank you. So what does Governor Greitens mean by a sanctuary city for abortion? That's quite the phrase.
Wow, it's quite a script flip, because it usually means immigration. In this case, they have added a pro-choice position to the anti-discrimination law in the city of St. Louis, which means that if you have a pro-abortion position, you can't be disqualified from working in a crisis pregnancy center. That if you own a building and you have space for rent, you would be required to rent that space to an abortion clinic. It's really, and it's used under anti-discrimination laws. So clearly this is a pro-discrimination law against people of conscience who simply can't about abortion.
So this pro-life legislation that just happened, this pro-life session, was this expected?
Well, no, because that has never happened. This is the first such session in the country. If there was one, many, many decades ago, nobody has record of it. Governor Greitens has decided that you didn't get the job done, and they're really high priority pro-life matters that must be addressed. So don't go home without doing your job. It is beautiful to see out of the state of Missouri, and we have a really important Senate race coming up in that state too, about the beautiful embrace of life that this governor has and the state has, and he's going to win.
Wow, and maybe other governors are paying attention to what's going on
Indeed, indeed. He's a fantastic example to every other governor. He's very much involved in the Republican Governors Association. It's a beautiful example, do as I do, and which is better than do as I say.
There is also another interesting part of this pro-life bill that puts requirements on how fetal tissue are handled. Why is this an increasingly important issue in the pro-life movement?
Well, I mean, over the past couple of years, it has been a very important issue with the videos that came out about Planned Parenthood, watching Planned Parenthood employees collaborate with businesses to harvest the eyes and the brain, the thymus, the heart of a child, and find a place to go sell that piece and research on that. There's a heightened awareness of the horrible, the abomination that is, what an offense that is to humanity. And so legislatures are very attuned to addressing this. So that part of this bill would make sure that an unborn child can't be a commodity, or the aborted child can't be a commodity. And so that piece of the bill would do that. It would also say that if you do abort a child and you're going to, and it's being, contracted out, then you have to give a sample of that to the authorities. Otherwise, there is going to be an investigation triggered immediately, well, within 72 hours, to find out what in fact was going on with the disposal of that baby.
A very important part of the pro-life movement. Turning now to more federal issues, there was recently a leaked draft of what's known as the contraceptive mandate, and it was an updated one that would protect pro-life Americans and their conscience rights. How much of a priority is this update in the pro-life movement?
This is an enormous priority. It was a central piece of why we opposed Obamacare in 2010 in the first place. So fixing this piece means that anybody, this rule first came down where it only protected houses of worship. This was the Obama rule. But this will add to it. This would mean that not only would you be able to object on religious grounds as an organization, but just moral grounds. So a group like Susan B. Anthony List would not be forced to provide abortifacients to anybody that worked for us. I mean, it is really outrageous when you look at the irony of what people of conscience on abortion would be forced to do. So it's important that this happen now. I've been working very closely with the administration on this. They have an intent to do the right thing here, but they really do need to hear from us. It really is important. And don't assume anything, meaning, look, I'm just going to be real about this. These are people that we know that work day in, day out, working very, very hard. They really need to hear from pro-life America, and especially Catholic America, about what they think.
This is a role we can play. Marjorie Dannenfelser of the Susan B. Anthony List, thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.